Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Racing Insiders podcast. It is Monday, May 1st, so May Day.
Happy May Day.
Happy May Day. Hey, did you do May baskets when you were a kid?
What the hell is that?
For real?
I have no clue what that is.
No, for real. When I was a kid, we did May baskets. So May 1st, you made these little baskets. And,
he is out. Sorry.
Okay. You made these little baskets like with candy or things like that, and you gave them to your friends as gifts, or maybe you put them on somebody's doorstep. So I'd be curious if anybody out there has done Mayday baskets. Just Pippi one inside.
No, he's out there. Do you want me to just crack the door open?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
That'd be great.
I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'll introduce us. So I am Kate Dillon from CrateInsider.com, and my disappearing co-host right here is Steve Hendren from Hendren Racing Engines. And I'm sure at some point we will have a special guest. Pippi will probably come into the picture because he's inside, he's outside. He usually jumps on the table, so that way everybody can, yeah. And, everybody can see Pippi and know who he's going to be. All right. So I see Scott is here. He says, hi, you are here. Hi from California.
Hey there.
So yes, we are here. And, oh yeah. And John's here from Greenville, South Carolina. I'm not sure, in my What's New video, I released our What's New for May. I'm starting a new thing over on Crate Insider. It's actually getting like a new thing of an old thing. Because when we were redoing the website, I came across all these like what's new for the month. And this was back in 2017. And I was like, I don't know why I stopped doing those, other than I went like live Top 5 Tuesday every week. But anyway, I decided to bring those back.
Hey.
So now we're doing what's new. And I think on there I talked about the fact that we will not have a podcast next Monday.
Yeah, for sure. Next Monday.
Yeah, because you're flying out.
Yeah, I've got a business trip I got to go on.
Right. And I did say in the What's New video that I'm the one who handles all the tech. So
Exactly.
like, we'll just try to, do it like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't think we'd be on this Monday. My son was actually supposed to test tonight, but that ended up getting canceled. So it'll be like Thursday night this week now.
And then you thought you were going to have your other son was supposed to have a concert.
I thought
tonight.
he had a concert, so I was going to try to do both things, but apparently that's Thursday night also, so I still have to do both things.
It's just on a Thursday instead. Oh, gotcha. Well, and anyone who's here with us live, feel free to drop in any questions you might have. We love answering, on this podcast. We love answering any tech questions, and of course,
we can.
If we can, yeah. I mean, we like to take them, discuss them. Sometimes we have an answer, and sometimes we don't.
Could be a game of Stump the Chumps too. So, like, it's happened before.
Yeah, I'm just going to play the girl card on that one. I don't know. I'm a girl. Why not?
Right.
So I see Darren's here watching, and another Darren is here. He says, hi from Colorado.
Yep.
My kid got his first feature win this weekend. Thanks for all the info. You two rock.
Awesome.
Gosh, thank you. And congratulations to you and your son, your whole family. I think a racing win is really a family effort.
And once you get that first one, the rest start rolling, because once you learn how to win, which is actually more difficult than most people believe it could be, once you learn how to win, then you know how to win. So it becomes easier from there.
Yeah, it really is amazing how mental. I mean, I'm not a racer, but so many things are a mental game.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, you can have all the skills, but if you don't, I like what Henry Ford said, the Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Right.
Right. It's something like that.
So, yep.
But once you know you can, once
you know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's racing's one thing, but like actually learning how to win. I mean, what's that damn Aerosmith song? You got to learn to lose before you learn how to win. I mean, that line, it applies to racing 100%.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
My opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know it's Monday. I always ask you the same question. And you always think when I ask you, so Steve, how's your week? And you're like, it's only Monday. So it's been a week since the last podcast. How have things been for the last 7 days?
I wasn't bad. Got some shit out the door. So been just having issues with, like at our place where They're doing all that road construction or starting to do that. And I mean, it's like once a week power goes out kind of shit, or we lose internet, or it's just been a fucking ordeal.
I don't even have construction where I'm at, and we lose internet quite often.
Internet doesn't bother me. It's the power.
Yeah.
But normally, because we're on that, we'll be on that fiber optic. We're on that fiber optic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If we lose internet, we lose phones too. So I mean, that's always an issue.
I mean, if I lose internet, I lose phones also.
And of course, AT&T doesn't leave a message. Like when somebody calls, going, and it rings out. The AT&T message isn't, "Oh, our stupid internet or our stupid phone system's down."
Oh no!
It's like, it sounds like somebody forgot to pay the bill. Basically, what it sounds like.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
I mean,
yes. This number is unreachable.
Right.
Like what? Come on. All right. So Fred's here and he says, "Hey, y'all, roll Tide."
Mm-hmm. Damn Bammer fan.
Yeah. I mean, what sport is going on right now for rolling Tide?
Probably basketball or baseball.
Shouldn't be basketball because that was March Madness.
Oh,
and now
yeah, it's probably baseball.
Yeah. Baseball
or softball or I don't know, volleyball or
yeah.
If you're a Tide fan, I guess you like them all.
All of them, yeah.
The only sport I give shit about is football. So,
all right. And John is here. He says, "Steve, I'm giving you a little time to get caught up, and I will call you on my 604 that you have on hold. And P.S. Try Modelo beer. It's not an Anheuser-Busch product. As always, love the show."
It actually is.
It is, John. Sorry to inform you of that, but Modelo is also owned by Anheuser-Busch.
Yep.
I'm unfortunately.
And unfortunately, I like Modelo as well. So, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Well, we'll have that.
I appreciate Steve's participation in not making me go off the rails. So, yeah.
I don't want to see Kate off the rails.
No one, everyone learned that is not what they wanted to see. So, yes, and I am still pretty anti-Anheuser-Busch.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Taking it to another level, not making money on their stock.
There's that.
There is that. Yeah. Not a lot, but something.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better. Makes me feel a little bit like I'm gaining revenge.
Oh, and before we go too far, big happy birthday to
Danielle. Happy birthday. She's on the Crate Insider team, and today is her birthday. So big happy birthday. We don't sing. She doesn't want us to sing.
Can't sing.
Nope. But big happy birthday to Danielle.
I mean, we can say she's 33 because it's like actually on her Facebook. So
yeah, she's owning that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Unlike me, I am ageless at this point. No longer. All I will identify with is being Generation X. I'm Gen X, so we can now forget about my age because we're also the forgotten generation. Oh, okay. And John says, no. Do your homework. It's not an Anheuser-Busch product in the USA.
No, I might have to. I know it was listed as one.
Yeah, it sure was.
Because I believe they're the importer, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
I really don't
know. That's just what it said in their pile of brands.
Yeah, now you got me stumped.
Yeah.
So we'll have to look that up. We will certainly do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
But yeah, as far as the engine goes, yeah, just holler at meeting timing.
Mm-hmm. And then Charles says, "Hey y'all, does Alex have that hot rod ready for Harris this weekend?"
Yeah, we do actually. So, we were supposed to test tonight, but his shot guy couldn't make it, so I guess we'll go Thursday to the open practice, and we'll do what needs to be done there.
Mm-hmm. And then racing on Saturday.
Yeah, right? Racing Saturday, weather permitting, because
it's looking sketchy.
It's this time of year, and it's North Carolina, so now there's like 70% chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, it's 70% chance of rain 70% of the year here.
Exactly.
We live in a rainforest.
So we don't know what'll happen, but hopefully we can get that in, and he can actually get his first race of the season in.
Yeah, it's been
I know he's been
a
itching.
Mm-hmm, for sure. All right, Flip is here. He says, "What's your recommendation on RPM range on a 604?"
I generally recommend 68 max. I mean, that being said, with the current valve springs that are out there for GM, I mean, if you got to turn 1.7 for qualifying, do that. That's fine. Because there's only 2 laps, but I would certainly knock it back to like 68 for, feature time. Most guys that are really going fast are at 68 or below. So that's my recommendation.
Great. Yeah. And Charles, talking about Alex says, sounds good. Wish him well.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll let him know.
We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. We got a couple questions that came in, just like contact form or YouTube questions.
Yep.
And so here's one from Jason. It says, so would you not change valve springs until you notice RPM loss? Are people still changing 602 valve springs every 3 or so races?
I mean, every 3 races, yeah, it's probably a little extreme. I'd say more closer to like 5, 5 or 6 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I certainly wouldn't wait until you see, a loss of RPM, because once you start seeing that, then that means you're, the springs are so weak, you're in valve float basically. So yeah. I'd recommend, at least every 5 or 6 races.
Okay, cool. All right. Let me see. And Dave Hammond is here. Says, hello from the great state of Iowa. They're at Hammond Motorsports, where it was like snowing. I mean, at least we're talking about rain, which totally sucks, but at least we're not talking about snow.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like last week it was snowing or some shit, wasn't
it? Yeah. Something insane.
Like 80 degrees one day, snow the next.
Unbelievable. I do not miss that. Do not miss that Iowa weather. I grew up in Iowa and definitely don't miss the weather for sure. People are awesome. Racing's great, but yeah, the weather and the mosquitoes. Oh my gosh, so many mosquitoes. So many.
Why?
Oh, are you kidding me? All the water, it rains all the time. And then you've got all of that.
It rains all the time here. And I mean, mosquitoes here are horrible, but
yeah, and humidity's here is bad.
I mean, I know I recognize Minnesota to be like a miserable damn place to live in the summertime. But...
Okay, you do realize that they're like neighbors.
Yeah, they're right
Minnesota
next. Yeah,
and
okay.
Iowa,
so the mosquitoes
right?
are like crossing the border, basically.
Yeah, they apparently don't stay in one state at a time. Yeah, I mean they are worse in Minnesota for sure because there's so much more water there. Yeah. But you've got those cornfields that are just.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
so
that's right.
So many cornfields and a lot of hog farms.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah. And Dave says, no snow, but like 60-mile-per-hour winds. My goodness. You guys are in Iowa are just unbelievable going through all these weather events.
If you just had like a mountain there somewhere to block that shit, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. It's unreal.
It's the next Hammond project to build a mountain in Iowa.
Probably could be. I'll tell you, it was pretty amazing. I was there in January and actually at Dave's shop. And I love Dave's shop. Really great shop. And we went to like the next town over to have some dinner. I mean, it was like you could see like if you wanted to see where the curvature of the earth happens, you could do it from Iowa because that was just about like flat, and hell, I mean, I literally can't even go. I can't go 200 feet from here without hitting a hill. So for legit, I'm not even making this up.
Yeah.
But we're about a quarter of a mile from downtown where I live right here.
There's literally a hill right there outside the door.
It is. But it truly is uphill twice each way to go back and forth from downtown.
That is true, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it is
down the hill, up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, and that's inside of a quarter mile. Yeah, or 2,500 steps is what it is on my Fitbit. All right, we got a question here. Oh, and just Dave's response to that. He says 5 miles of flat land to the west, and no wind stops. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's just nothing to stop it. All right, so Fred is here. He says, just purchased a new 602. Are they pre-primed? Although I will prime it when I change out to an MSD.
No, I would certainly prime it because there's no guarantee. Now, what I would do is a lot of these engines have I've seen as much as 3 quarts of whatever kind of shitty oil that GM puts in them. I believe they do prime them to a point. That's why I've seen oil in engines. So certainly make sure you drain out whatever's in there before you put in, the oil you're going to start it with.
Is it
and
oil?
Then prime it.
Or is it just that much assembly lube?
No, it's like some sort of stinking ass oil. I mean, it shit's rank. I have no idea even what it is.
Really?
No, it's horrible.
Huh.
But 602s don't come with an oil filter adapter or an oil filter on them, unlike 604s. So I would certainly be priming that thing, and like I said, just make sure that there's no, drain all whatever that crappy shit is that GM has in them.
I mean, I think there's some great information. It's a question we've never had on the show. I haven't seen that before, and I didn't know about that about the oil that's inside those 602s.
Yep. Well, I took one apart the other day, and I just totally slipped my mind to like pull the drain plug, and I got the heads off and the intake off, lifters out, and I go to flip it over to pull the pan off, and there was probably about, I don't know, probably about 3 or 4 quarts in that bitch.
And then it just dumped all over the floor.
It was everywhere. Yeah.
Oh man. And then it's got to smell bad.
Oh, it's horrible smelling shit. I have no idea what it is.
I mean, wait, if you were to describe the badness of the smell, I mean, is
something between rotten ass and freaking, like, I don't know, some kind of sulfury smelling shit.
So somewhere between rotten ass and rotten eggs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it was a good question.
Just horrible.
That's hilarious. I love it. Doug is here saying good evening. Good evening, Doug.
Yep.
Thanks so much for joining us. And for our podcast listeners, because of course we do record this show, anybody who's watching live, we record this and then you can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. So over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, any of those.
Yep.
And we're on all of those. And for those who are listening to us on the recording and want to join us live, just to let you know, we go live Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, except for next Monday, May 8th.
Yeah, right.
Because we're going to, you'll be traveling.
I got a business trip to do. So.
Yeah. I'll be dropping you out at the airport.
Yep.
And you'll be doing some business.
Important shit.
Yeah. And probably maybe by the next one, you might even be able to announce what the important shit is. It's hard to say.
Probably not. It's
a process.
Probably not yet.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Wow. Yeah. You're going to keep a secret.
Oh no,
You're not going to be.
I'm actually good at that.
Oh, okay. I just love teasing you for being a premature promoter.
Right. Exactly. I know.
Although I probably was a little bit talking about our wheels. Something that's been really exciting.
Yeah.
Is the video came out about how to replace like one of the bells of a 3-piece Kaiser wheel. Mm-hmm. And we may have talked about that last week.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But now we've got wheels back in stock, and that video is out.
Yep.
We've been selling a lot of wheels.
Yeah, you had like an assload of them show up at my shop on a truck last week, I believe.
Yeah. And you
got more coming. I'm going to take it.
Not yet, but I after today, I need to order some more. So
you still got like 2 of those little pit bikes out there too, right?
Yeah, I'll come get it
completely in my way.
Well, later on this week, there's going to be a pallet from Winters that's coming to your shop. So I'll pick up the pit bikes when I come and get the winter stuff. Yeah. It's just 2 little pit bikes. So I have pit bikes back in stock. Yay. I love my pit bike. Love it. It's awesome. All right. Here's a good question here. And Roy says, do you recommend a certain electric fan to run on a 602?
In an asphalt application is the only time I would recommend even running an electric fan. If that's what you're running, no, I don't. Because primarily the dirt stuff that we do, I've never been able to make an electric fan work on anything ever. Maybe on alcohol, it could be a thing, but as far as asphalt, no, I don't. I'm gonna assume, because you're dealing with like absolute ram air in an asphalt application. We're on dirt, the noses are sealed off and everything.
So that's the difference then.
Yeah, just never. Hell, I even had I've tried it personally on my own car when I was racing, and I had a fan motor I actually had a fan from Hendrick, which they run on the Cup cars, and it was like some freaking European model, super duper deluxe electric fan, guaranteed to cool anything, and yep, shit didn't work. So
At least not on dirt.
no, not on dirt. So yeah, I honestly don't. I'm sorry.
Good to know. All right. But I guess we are playing Stump the Chump.
Oh, I mean, hey, every now and again.
I'm kidding. All right. Speaking of that, we've got another question here that was turned in. And this one's from Bad Fast asking, is VDL making billet center section? I'm assuming carburetors. I don't know the answer to that because I'm not a VDL dealer.
I'm not sure. I doubt that they are because they're so tied in with Holley, and primarily VDL's like mostly a asphalt type carburetor manufacturer.
Now, as a follow up within this question, is there an advantage to a billet center section carburetor?
100%.
So, what really is what are the differences, and why is it an advantage to have the billet center section?
Well, I mean, the most current thing that Holley produces is the HP center section. That compared to, let's say, a BLP or like a Willys billet center section, for instance, you're looking on a 604, you're looking at least 10 horsepower difference.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. I mean, if you're E85 to E85 or
yeah,
race
I mean,
gas
back to back to back, whatever. I mean, you can do that shit all day long. You're gonna see 10 horsepower.
Now, why?
I mean, it could be 9. I don't know, but you know what I mean. But I'm saying 10 because that's what I've personally seen, and that's what when we originally tested, that's what we saw.
Now, when we're talking about billet center sections, we're really talking to as opposed to cast center section.
Correct.
Okay. Yes. And why do you think it is that the billet center sections are so much more powerful?
Because of the way it's designed.
More of the design.
Yeah, it's night and day difference versus a cast center section.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I mean, the cast looks nothing like the billet center section. I'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah. I mean,
I think you got carburetors online where you probably show down, show down the Venturis. So, I mean,
yeah,
you can simply look at that and you're going to see the instant difference.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. And John's question here, Steve, I have a pic of a white late model number 29 from 1991 Santa Rosa Speedway. Is that you?
Yeah, that'd be San Jose Speedway more than likely. So yeah, that's probably me.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, 1991. Yeah, I mean, I think we ran San Jose a little bit that year. It would have primarily I would have been Watsonville, Merced, Antioch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Probably San Jose on occasion.
Yeah, I mean, over on the Racing Rewind channel, there's a
go to Racing Rewind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe if you type in CrateInsider.com, it'll actually take you over to the YouTube channel. And, we're not super active over there, but if you happen to have videotapes of races from like 70s, 80s, 90s, we're not trying to like compete with any of the new streaming anything, but it's really like that stuff that's if it's on videotape, like VCR tape, and you've never had a chance to get it digitized and you'd like to see it up on YouTube.
So we've got the ability to digitize that. And then obviously we would return your cassette tapes or whatever, your VHS tapes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I haven't had any of them break. I mean, we all have to realize that these are all of these tapes are 30 plus years old.
Yeah, exactly.
But I haven't had one break yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just all I need to do is play it once and just have the computer capture all of that.
But San Jose was a great fucking racetrack. I mean, I love that place. It was actually a sprint car track. San Jose Fairground Speedway is what it was. And I'm a big sprint car fan, always have been. And, of course, I never got to drive one, but I've driven dirt late models all my life. And, racing at that track was like huge for me. I just love that place. It was freaking awesome. And, grew up going there because it was like 30 minutes from my house. And yeah, great freaking place. I think I won the championship there in 94.
Okay.
In late model.
Now you keep using the word was, and I don't know if that's just like looking back on your past.
It's gone now. About like everything else in California.
I mean, it's not a surprise to me. I mean, it is in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there's probably some tech startup that's on the old fairgrounds.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No.
And then, the other one we lost was, Fremont. So, I actually won the last ever late model race in Fremont, California. So that used to be Fremont drag strip / Baylands Raceway Park. and which is where my parents drag raced.
Oh, okay.
Is at that place for God since the early 60s.
Yeah.
And then, I ended up winning the last late model race there on the dirt oval.
Wow. I mean, I knew your parents drag race, but I never knew where.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, Fremont
to
Drag
hear.
Strip.
That's just sad.
It was what it used to be called, and then it changed to Baylands. But
Mm-hmm.
then they sold it to some developer, and then they discovered that there was so much shit in the ground they couldn't do anything with the property because like batteries and gasoline and oil and all the crud from drag racing for however many years.
Perhaps.
Total backfire.
Perhaps. Not trying to sow any discontent or malfeasance here, but yeah. Hey, here are your choices. You can buy this racetrack and turn it into houses, but not until it's been deemed a Superfund site.
Well, and the dirt track was like right next door to the drag strip. So I mean, I remember going to that drag strip with my mom and dad. Watched my dad race there actually at the drag strip, but I remember going there and seeing, Don Gartlett's and all those dudes racing back in the day, Top Fuel shit and all that. It was freaking awesome. That was a great racetrack.
Wow.
Or great drag strip. The circle track was awesome too.
Oh, now Doug said he's coming in saying wrong. They closed the track because of noise, then ran motocross on weeknights. It's pretty much empty now.
Well, yeah, because the developer actually bought it. I mean, I remember that whole story. So a developer or some land developer or something bought it. Then they went in and started doing soil samples. And there was like literally like batteries buried in the ground there. And I remember that whole damn thing. It was like huge.
So they couldn't build the houses that they wanted to build and make all the money.
Because, it was going to cost them so much money to like get rid of the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So total shit show.
So I guess the only thing it was good for was really being a motocross track at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I can see they had the motocross track too, but
it's interesting that I would say, generally speaking, in racing, I've not heard one person who thinks that EVs are a good choice for racing. Not one.
Why would they be?
I agree. However, noise really is the thing that gets most of these racetracks into trouble.
I mean, that in airports, I mean, so, most assholes move in around the racetrack.
Yeah.
And then complain about the racetrack that's been there for,
50
years or 30 years or 20 years or whatever, which is total bullshit. And that's usually what gets them shut down, which, God, I know, like my home track in California, Watsonville, they fought against that shit for years. Or Watsonville Fairground Speedway. So the fairgrounds fought against that shit for years.
Yeah. Oh, and Doug, actually, he said I was talking about San Jose Fairgrounds.
Oh, San Jose. Okay.
That it's a ghost town now.
Yeah. That's freaking awful, dude. Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. San Jose's. Yeah.
Come on, dude. Just put on your noise canceling headphones. It'll be over in a few hours.
So nothing's there is what you're saying. They haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm curious because I mean, obviously, I haven't been back there since the last time I was there. But.
Yeah, and we when we were there, we went by Watsonville, which is now.
Yeah, we went. Yeah, I took you over there and showed you that track and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was cool. And he says, nope. So there must be nothing there.
So it's just a ghost town.
Yeah, crazy.
That sucks.
I see our friend Stuart from Down Under is here. He says, "G'day, guys. Hi from Oz. Homesick today, so it's great hearing the podcast. Love your work."
Nice.
Well,
sorry you're sick.
Sorry you're sick. Absolutely. Yeah. That's I hate being sick. I really hate that. For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you get to stay home all day.
There's that. As long as I don't feel bad. As long as I can be like elementary school sick, where it's like, oh, Mom, I think I might have a tummy ache. And then, by 10 o'clock in the morning, you're watching Price is Right and, whatever.
Oh,
I know you did. I'm sure you did when you were kidding. Not that you were faking it.
I think I've called my brother like probably twice in the last 10 years and been like, I'm not coming to work today. I feel like shit. None of that was from hangovers, by the way, just saying. But it was like that whole 24-hour flu shit that you get every now and again. Yeah. And I still end up going in. So it's like sleep until 3, go in for an hour, make yourself feel good like you actually showed up to work and go home.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, usually when I get sick, it's like for multiple days.
Exactly.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, you can get those headaches.
Yeah. Yeah. If I just message you and be like, yeah, I have one of my headaches, you know exactly
Oh
what that
yeah,
means.
she's out for 2 days.
Yep. Doug says with both those fairgrounds, it's still a fairgrounds that brings in no money.
Oh wow, that
Mm.
sucks.
But I guess I don't know, maybe things will change now because you have such a tech, really tech heavy section of the country. And that's why it's called Silicon Valley. And so much money. So they don't really need the fairgrounds to produce anything, right? But now with the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and all of these tech firms that are either laying people off, and maybe there'll be a little incentive to, like get out from behind the tablets and go out
No,
into the world or
yeah,
something.
probably
It could
not.
happen.
Probably not, because I mean, unfortunately, that's like such a liberal area in the country that.
Oh, I don't see racing coming back there. I mean,
yeah, the racing will never get
no,
probably never get back there, and they'd rather let it sit there and rot than
Yeah.
actually, make some money off of it
right.
or make some tax revenue off of it.
Well, we know what I think is where I have a fundamental quarrel with that is the outside perspective of the racing community and not understanding what this being part of a racing community is amazing.
Yeah.
Like the connection and growing up around racing and all of the values that it teaches you about competition
Yeah.
and all those positive aspects. I mean, if we really want to foster a really strong like traditional family, like the good things, all
Yeah.
of those good things, and so much of that is ingrained in racing. You just have to turn off the parts.
Well, I mean, no in San Jose, they're more worried about the environmental impact of having race cars with on a racetrack, that kind of thing. Now, if you like propose, racing a bunch of EVs out there, they might be all into that, or electric lawnmower racing. They'd probably be into that shit. But
it's if the answer is going to be absolutely no to the racing that we're all used to,
yep,
I still would support some kind of of racing.
Yeah.
Because even if you're out there watching like my electric pit bike, if you're watching pit bike races out there and it gets you interested in racing, it could be like a gateway drug into actually wanting to see other kind of racing. See, I think all racing is connected.
See, that track was so fucking awesome because you had, all right, so you basically had the 3/8 to 4/10 mile track in the middle, right? Which is where weekly racing took place. They had a half-mile track, which I actually raced on back in, God, when was that? 87, 88, 89, somewhere around there. So I actually raced on the half mile, which is the first half-mile track I ever raced on. And then they had a mile. So it used to be the San Jose Mile, which was the flat track motorcycle racing. You want to see a damn good show? Go see one of those.
Wow.
I remember going to that and watching the San Jose Mile. Holy hell, that shit was awesome.
Wow.
Freaking amazing watching damn Harleys. I mean, flat track Harleys go around that San Jose Mile. It was amazing.
Wow.
Had a blast.
Oh, Doug says it's low-income housing, racing never.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, then that's kind of out there.
That explains everything.
Yeah. All right, got another question here. Roy asks, what makes more power, block-mounted fuel pump or a reverse mount?
Honestly, neither one. It's basically the same. I haven't seen a difference. Nothing measurable, at least. I prefer the bell housing mounted pump because it's always 100% positively driven. It's a rotary type pump, so there's really nothing to go wrong. Whereas in a mechanical pump, you're dealing with all sorts of shit going on in that mechanical pump. So, I mean, I prefer the reverse mounted pump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you can afford to do it. I mean, and there's plenty of block mounted pumps out there that work just fine, and it's not going to make a horsepower difference one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. And Doug commented, low income housing where it's a homeless shelter. That's what they want to turn into the racetrack into. All right. Spencer is here. He says the cost of parts to build a race car is getting out of hand. Most people can't afford to keep up with the Joneses, and the car count is low. Tracks can't afford to be open anymore. It sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see that in a lot of areas, which completely sucks. But that's the times we're living in now. So I think there needs to be more. Well, I hate ever saying there needs to be more rules made, but I think there needs to be better divisions started. Does that make sense?
It does.
It
does. It absolutely makes sense.
I mean, we've got here in North Carolina, we got like we got a class. I think it's called Thunder Bomber or some shit like that, and it's basically junkyard motors. But like the rules on that shit are so stupid. I literally do not own equipment shitty enough to build one of these engines and have it be legal. Which is, to me, is completely stupid. So then you got dudes out there looking for like some intake manifold that they had to buy from freaking BFE Nebraska because it had an X on it, and that intake manifold's like $1,200 or some shit like that. I mean, all these divisions shoot themselves in the foot. They can make racing very affordable in most every division if they want to, or if they know how to, but they don't talk to the right people to make rules to make it to where you can actually do that. Well, and that drives me insane.
I agree with you on all of that, but also as being a parts store, that we have run into some severe inflation, and and I don't care what we can talk about those bigger components and like rules based, but a lot of this is the inflation or the sticky inflation or the stagflation, whatever, however you want to refer to it. And it's honestly, I mean, nobody's gouging anybody here is the problem.
No, not at all.
And so that's what makes it so sticky. So how we get around that and how we can adjust, it's an equation where all the pieces are all connected together, and we need, it's the rising tide lifts all boats, and the sinking tide sinks them all. We need to get more fans in the stands, and in order to be able to make the case to raise purses, for instance.
Yeah, and you need racing series actually working together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I mean, it does no good to fight about stupid shit.
No.
In my opinion.
No.
So like
it just hurts everyone.
Yeah, series that actually will work together and make it to where, hey, we all succeed. I mean, that would be a great thing, because if they succeed, then the racer succeeds, and the racer can go race for money, and I mean, that, which is what you're after. I mean, none of us are in this business to make money, honestly. I mean, unless you're racing Lucas Oil or World Outlaw or something like that, and you're a driver, everything else is just basically a write-off. So, drivers make money in that series, and everything else
as long as they don't own the team.
Well, as long as they don't own the team. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If they're just like a paid employee, basically, or like get paid for their winnings.
Yeah, right. But I mean, there's none of us are going to be millionaires. Well, I mean, at a level below that level, on dirt. Same with asphalt. I mean, nobody's going to become a millionaire racing at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Right.
So we're all in it for a loss, and we know that. But, we can make it an affordable loss, or we can make it like an exponential loss. And I'm about making it for an affordable loss, which is why I've always been such a proponent of the crate engine stuff. Even that being said, I think every month this year we've had price increases on shit.
I haven't seen it on the engines, but I don't. I've
seen it.
But
I'm going to say every other month then.
Yeah.
Which normally it's twice a year, and it's been every other month so far.
Well, and it used to be only once a year until they went to the map pricing with the published pricing.
Yeah, correct.
Then it became, I mean, every month you're changing something almost, it's valve springs and stuff like that.
Exactly.
All right. Some more comments here. So Dunning and Shane are here. Due to urban sprawl, we lost I-80 in Nebraska.
Wow. That sucks.
I mean, that is insane. There's
that place was like famous.
Yeah, I know my dad raced there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also so much room in Nebraska. You could like have 25 square miles around that track and still have plenty of room for people.
Right.
Like, Unbelievable. And and Charles is saying $50,000 rollers.
Yeah, I mean, on cars, yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
Doug says pit passes $25 to $30 in the Midwest,
yep.
45 to 50 here in California is part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree, and I mean, I definitely have some strong feelings on this, and I don't know. I guess
Well, I mean, that gets into the whole deal about, are you a backgate promoter or somebody who actually promotes?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're somebody who actually promotes, those pit entry fees, I mean, they're going to go up with inflation. I get that. But those pit entry fees, like what, at a well promoted racetrack, are not that expensive by today's standards. I'm going to say, 20 to 30 bucks. If you're a front gate promoter, that means if you're actually packing the grandstands every night. And there are places around here that do that. There's places that I know that pack them every night.
Yeah.
If you go that route, then that's great. If you're some dude who does not do any advertisement, does not do any promotional work, and all you're relying on is the dudes coming in the back gate with the race car because there's a race going on and racers will go race for pennies or a trophy, then that's a back gate show.
Yeah.
And the back gate show is where you end up with those $50 pit passes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
unless
crazy.
They're paying big money. Now, there are races that if they're paying big money, then they need that big price at the back gate and the front gate.
Well, I mean, I think here again, we're just honestly, it's just a different portion of the entire ecosystem of racing. And all of these pieces, a lot of times in racing, it's like the things are pitted against each other. It's the drivers versus the track or the track versus the series. And the reality of it is there's really one person who should be the focus of it. Sorry, drivers, it's not you. It's the fans. The
Right.
fans are the center of all of this and what we're doing for the fans. So is it an interesting show? How well are they managing the show? Literally nobody wants to go to one of these and be there for 8 hours.
Right.
No one ever wants to do that. So we don't want long shows. We want short, impactful, interesting shows. We want a story to go with it. We want those, bring us an actual entertainment and a show. And also let us know that it's happening.
and that's one of my pet peeves with that whole thing. And I think it's one of yours too, is you get promoters, especially in this area where we're running 9 divisions tonight. Well, out of those 9 divisions,
I just want to just hang my head
I can't
on
tell you what the fuck each division is because they all look the same, but they might have a different engine combination or a different tire or whatever. And out of all those, I mean, I know what a late model is, but when you get into stock body shit, I don't know whether it's a Thunder Bomber or a pure stock or a super stock or a freaking hobby stock or whatever. And there's like 5 cars in each division and you're getting charged $30 to go through the gate,
Yeah.
It's
with that level of confusion,
what the fuck?
Maybe we should just shake it up one night and just race them by color. I mean, now that would be fun. Okay, all the green cars. Yeah, there's no green cars. All the white cars on the track, all the yellow cars, and let's just see what happens.
But it just amazes me that's what it's become. It's like, hey, I got an idea. Let's add another division.
Yeah. This racer called, and he knows that his buddies that race the same thing, that they're all going to come out. So all 3 of them show up.
Where I grew up racing, we had 2 divisions.
Yeah.
We had late model. Well, we ended up with 3. So I'll go with the 3. We had late models, we had open wheel modifieds, and we had street stocks.
You can tell the difference between those.
Right? You can tell the difference between all 3.
Yes.
Right? Very obvious. What's what?
Yes.
And you'd have, I mean, gosh, back when the modifieds came about, because that became a popular thing because it was cheaper to race.
Right. Yeah.
But back when that first came about, you'd have, I don't know, 25 late models in the pits. You'd have freaking 30 modifieds, and you have 40 street stocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Promoter made money that night. Everybody got a damn good show. I don't need 10,000 freaking divisions that all look the same.
No.
And I can't tell the difference of what they are.
Well, and all that's going to do, if you actually do get a chance to get any new fans, and then it's just this you have to be a marathon race fan to actually get it, then they're not going to come back.
Well, that's the whole thing. How would a new fan, you like drag to the racetrack? You're a hardcore fan. You drag your friend to the racetrack who's never been before.
Yeah.
How the fuck did they discern what the hell the difference is? Is their buddy going to tell them? Because the odds are the hardcore race fan still doesn't know.
Well, I mean, this is not my first day. And if I didn't have like Race Monitor or my Race Pass, I couldn't tell you who's leading after the first 5 laps. Because, that's when they start lapping. And then I don't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
So, it just depends. I mean, who are you surrounded with? But I sure as hell don't know a car difference from one to the next.
And by the way, I ain't no promoter.
No, you're not.
Tried to be. Epically failed. Just one time. Well, I shouldn't say epically failed. It turned out to be all right. But I'll never do that shit again. So I'm just being a bitchy critic.
Okay, well, yes and no. Sort of. So I am a promoter, but I'm not a racetrack promoter. Me and my brother had a racing trade show during COVID.
Right.
So that was the bravest thing I've ever done in my life. But now we've done 3 racing trade shows. You know what's nice about using a convention center? You don't have to worry about rain. I mean, like ours, we had to worry about the governor coming in and shutting our show down. But once you get through that, then, it's a little bit easier. So, I mean, I do understand you need to have both the, the talent, the racers, or in this case, it's the exhibitors, and then need to have the racers who are going to be there to support the show. It's everybody working together. It's a big teamwork thing. You cannot have one without the other and vice versa. It just doesn't work.
Well, I just think I'm stating the obvious though. From what my experience is.
It is. It's obvious, but if it's sometimes you just have to go back to basics, and that it may be obvious to everybody, but nobody's doing anything about it.
No, no, because everybody gets stuck in their own little rut.
Yeah,
and that's what they do.
All right, we got lots of comments here,
all right.
We're gonna jump in. We're after we get off our little soapboxes there.
Yeah, sorry.
And no, you're good.
This went off on a ram.
I'm glad you did. So Trent's here from Nebraska. He said, "Hey, now be careful about those Nebraska comments." Oh, Michael says we race for the glory and the pit lizards. All right, Michael, you win the comment of the night.
Yeah, that's comment of the night so far.
Oh, I love it. All right. Darren's laughing at that. And Chad says, all right, Steve, we'll get serious here again. Right. And Chad says, what is the average price to rebuild a 602 these days?
On average, you're looking basically right at $3,000.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks to GM's price increases.
Mm-hmm. And Spencer has a question on the 604 engines. There's 2 different part numbers for the intake. Is there a difference in them?
No, because what GM does is when they change part numbers on anything, it's because they change manufacturer.
Mm-hmm. So I think Edelbrock is making their intake manifolds now.
I believe so, yes.
And it could even be Edelbrock was in California, but now they've moved to
Texas, I believe. I believe it's Texas.
I don't think it is.
I believe it's Texas.
Maybe somebody can look it up. I was thinking it was Alabama or Mississippi, but anyway, they moved. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's exactly the same casting and the exact same equipment, but moved to a different location would probably still be a different part number.
Kind of how GM works, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So any time that a manufacturer is changed, I don't know about the moving part, but anytime a manufacturer's changed, the part number changes.
Yeah.
Because
they'll put out a contract.
There's going to be a new part number. Well, there already is for 604 pistons, for instance.
Okay. So yeah, because they just have, and then that's how they keep track of when they look at the
once they're available.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but we see the engine, a 604 engine has had a numerous part numbers. It always ends in 604 for us, but the other combination, the other like 7 numbers.
Yeah. So anytime a manufacturer, let's just take a 604 for instance. Mm-hmm. Anytime a manufacturer of one piece of that engine changes, that part number for that engine changes
because it's a different assembly.
Correct.
Because now it's using, it's using manufacturer A's part in that component even if it's the same
Correct.
thing. All right. Roy is here. He says, so welcome, Roy. He says, did
Yep.
you see Tony Stewart saying Copart is buying tracks to make wrecking yards due to already contaminated soil? I did not see that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Very, very interesting. And Brian actually says, Roy, they did that in Arkansas. So, wow,
Okay.
that's a trip. And Brian Littleton is here. He's from Race Logic. He
Yep.
says, hey, guys. Brian, it's cool. Brian sent me a comment, I believe yesterday, from one of the Race Logic viewers that signed up for the online classes. Couldn't make it in person.
Yep.
And the comment was, hey, thanks so much for having the online classes. I couldn't make it live. I had questions, but being able to just be able to fast forward, rewind, loved how it was set up into different sections.
Awesome.
So that was really a cool comment to see.
News.
So thank you. And for any of you who aren't familiar with it, check out the website racelogic.vip. And that is where there is online training, and it's live classes that we do. Yep. And actually I just know smart people, and it's Brian's company, but I go and film and edit those videos and make it so that they're available to the public.
I really enjoyed doing the late model class this year. I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we're able to go back to Northeast again.
Yeah, it was a nice venue. Yeah. Great questions. Really, really elevated like the level of knowledge there. And I just keep referring back to it. I mean, every year I learn more and more, and it's really good. All right. And James is here. He says, what I want to know is, how do these folks race these $60,000 cars for $2,000 to win at best?
So that's pretty much any late model right now, whether it's a crate car or a super. Super is probably like closer to 100. So crate cars, I assume, is what you're talking about. And that's that whole drive and willingness to race for nothing.
I guess we could call it raising the debt ceiling.
Yeah. I mean, we've all done it. I mean, shit. I mean, hell, I've raced for $500 to win on a Friday or Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
In a car that was at the time $30,000 or $40,000.
Mm-hmm.
So like we all do it because that's what we strive to do, is race for pit lizards and fame.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
And glory and pit lizards. That's why we do it.
Yeah, I think that so Tori in my office is the one that makes up the titles for these afterwards, and we now have this convention where it's always like 3 things. So I can imagine that it's like I don't know what the first thing.
Glory and pit lizards.
Yes, that'll be the last 2 things. I think will be probably in the title of this episode, because it's just too good. Yeah, she usually just kind of gathers it from from whatever we're talking about.
You got to start giving like an award for comment of the week.
I probably should. I think we've talked about doing some giveaways.
You know what? Send him a fucking t-shirt. Actually, I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah. Yes, it was Michael, right?
Yeah, you got to scroll back up.
Yeah. It was Michael Nelms.
Yep.
And yeah, I didn't bring up. I have a pen. I'll get you going on the next question. Yep. Michael, if you would, my email address is kate@CrateInsider.com. Send me a message. I think you're a customer. I think I probably have your address, but let me know your shirt size, and we'll, you can just send me a message through the contact form on Crate Insider. We'll get a t-shirt.
That was the funniest shit I heard all day. So.
Yeah, it really is. Gotta love when you get a good laugh in. All right. Some more comments here is Spencer says Kokomo Speedway in Indiana has good shows. There's a lot of great racing in the Midwest. Unfortunately, I don't know. Living in the South is a challenge because it's the racing isn't quite as competitive as we've seen at other kind of tracks.
Yeah, I mean, usually in like Indiana, that Midwest area, I mean, the dirt's good enough where you can actually have good races. Most of the places around here, I mean, it doesn't get good unless it like slicks off top to bottom, and guys can actually race. If it's like that hammer down shit, it's like single lane.
Yeah, and that red clay really contributes to that. So that's really what happens. So it's not really the fault of the track promoters.
And
It's just where we live.
Yeah, and I've seen Kokomo on video before.
Oh,
so,
you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And next one from Ben and Marie. Some of the best times were spent at Watsonville Speedway, Antioch Speedway, and Merced Speedway, on occasion with the Hendrons and Scotts every weekend. We had such a great time watching the late models tear up the track with some of the best memories from those days.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, I miss that shit. And, like when you're in the middle of it and you're doing it, you like take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, like, you mentioned the race and rewind shit or the
channel. Yeah.
And like looking back at those old videos, it's like, man, I wish I was doing that still. This was like for some of the funnest racing.
Well, and when we were California now a year and a half ago, and being able to spend some time with the Scott family.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had actually met them in person.
That's my best friend. Yeah.
And just awesome people, fantastic people. Loved spending some time with Jeannie and Bobby and their kids. And it was just great family for sure. Yes. And let's see. Doug says, sadly, Watsonville Weekly Show charges the $45 to $50.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Wow. And they only pay the top 3.
What?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Isn't that the Ocean Speedway now?
Yeah, Ocean Speedway. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. And here John's got a great comment. He says, I'm surprised the Backgate show doesn't charge a surcharge for the dirt we wear home.
That's true, actually.
All right, Glory, Pit Lizards, and the dirt we wear home.
Exactly.
I'll have to let Tori know that if she's not here. So Donings and Shane, speaking of gambling, we would go to races, pay our pit passes, and throw in the $100 entry fee to race for good money. Gambling.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No,
that is gambling.
Yeah, that is gambling.
And George is here from YouTube saying, great show. Gosh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, and anybody who's watching on YouTube, if you'd hit that subscribe button, that would be awesome. Because I'm, trying to build up the channel. And I don't want to be like one of those annoying YouTubers that all like, subscribe. I don't want to be like that, but yeah, I definitely want to reach the next level here. All right. So James is here, says, so could you get tossed by tech for running a new part number piston in an older 604?
No. So once that new part number comes out and once those are released, no, you would not be. Same as you can't get tossed for running an older engine with newer heads. Mm-hmm. So no, that would not be a thing.
Yeah. Good one. And Justin, hi, Steve and Kate. How long is the shelf life of E85 in a sealed drum?
If it's off the ground, I would keep it, on a pallet or something like that. Usually 6 months is what the manufacturers recommend.
Okay, I didn't know that. So, yeah. And now you normally would put like a drum on top of a pallet.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you don't want it sitting on concrete.
Now, what happens if you just leave the fuel sitting on concrete? I knew that, but I didn't know why.
Sounds weird, but it can actually like suck moisture into the drum. So,
osmosis thing. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Interesting.
I'm not a chemist, so I just know that everybody says no, keep it on a pallet.
Yeah, that's all I know. But I am someone to question everything. Right. I mean, just because we've always done something a certain way doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. Yeah, for sure.
And that could be totally false. I don't even know. But
no, but I know that too. Yeah.
All my fuel guys that I've ever known is like, nope, keep it on a pallet.
I mean, like sometimes now gets thrown into my face is, you know what? You're only a Google search away.
There you go. There you go.
I have to look that up. And Darren's laughing, and Tori's like, yes. All right. So we made titling easier here for you. Glory, Pit Lizards, and the dirt we wear home.
Exactly.
All right. And Tom is here. Needs Steve to come race Antioch again. I think he's got some offers, people who put him behind the wheel.
Yeah, I have. I mean, my plan right now tentatively is to be, so Dad's race, I think this year in Pittsburgh is going to be what, the 28th, 29th?
Isn't it September?
Yeah, September.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I think my plan is to go to California for at least a week.
Okay.
And go hang out with friends and all that stuff. So, yeah, well, I mean, I made a commitment the last time 2 years ago when I was there for the Antioch Hall of Fame that I did. Was that I'd go back every 2 years because none of us getting no younger, and we don't get to see each other enough. We just talking on the phone is totally different than face to face.
Well, and it's honestly, it's just so hard to get you to leave the county. But once we got you out of the county, then you'll go places.
No, I just realized when I was there, I was like,
I
damn,
know.
I mean, like, my best friend's dad passed away during COVID, and I was going to go for that, but I couldn't go for that because a stupid piece of shit, Gavin Newsom, wouldn't let anybody like travel into the state at the time, and you couldn't go have more than like 2 people at a funeral and bullshit like that. So
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to. I mean, everybody knew
Right.
that it was the last days, and you
Yeah.
would have flown out there
100%.
to
No, I'd have totally been there.
have that last final moment,
Yeah.
but it wasn't going to be possible.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Bobby did that for my dad.
right.
So
yeah,
no,
you would have
it's-
absolutely done that.
yeah.
But no, we had a good time in California, and there's always more to see. So,
Yep.
Kind of plan that, and it works out really well. Last time we flew up to Pittsburgh for your dad's race, and then just had my bags packed and went racing for a couple of days, and then got back on a plane. And instead of going
Yep.
home, we went to California, and then flew back from California back.
Stayed a week,
back
come
here.
back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I got a couple friends that I think maybe might want to travel with us out there. So that'll be kind of fun because I can play tour guide because they've never been to California kind of shit, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and I think we just need a place like by the pier, and I'm just gonna go there and like
eat crab legs and freaking hang out in the sun.
watch the seals, listen to the ocean. Yeah, like beachy things.
Right.
I'm normally not a beach. I'm more of a mountains person than I am a
Right.
beach person. But if I'm by the beach, then I'm go by the beach. So I love it. All right. And Doug says sprint cars have their own payouts. Oh, at Watsonville.
Gotcha.
Wow. Oh, we didn't answer us the fundamental question. Chuck says, "What you drinking this evening?" I was drinking water, but
I finished mine,
forgot.
which means the show's like over now.
Yeah.
So it's Miller
Oh yeah,
Lite,
it's
and
8:01.
It's like empty.
Team.
And I gotta give me a sandwich.
All right, well, we'll just kind of wrap up some comments here. But yeah,
Yeah.
usually talking about we're drinking, and I got down here and I meant to grab my water, and apparently I left it on the counter. I've been talking continuously,
Yep.
and you're drinking Miller Lite right here. And Alan's here. He says, sorry I didn't get here earlier, but I will watch the rerun. Thank you so much for being here for sure. Oh, and Tom says round table pizza.
Absolutely. Best pizza in the damn world.
I think it's the best memories of pizza when you were a kid.
No, it's just the best pizza.
Okay, I do. You know what I have to tell you I did when I was in Iowa?
What?
I went to Happy Joe's Pizza because that holds massively awesome childhood memories for me. So yeah, there was at lunch. I went one of the lunches or one of the breaks. I went to Happy Joe's because I remember having birthday parties at Happy Joe's, and they're the original taco pizza. So I had to go to Happy Joe's and have a taco pizza. It was so good.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my gosh. Oh, John, you're gonna ruin it. And John says, I do believe we just went through the whole show and no F-bombs. It's possible.
I thought I said fuck like once or twice.
Maybe once or twice. At least it wasn't in the first 5 minutes. That's all I ever pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the whole algorithm of YouTube is like, oh, don't say fuck.
Well, don't do it in the first 5 minutes, because then you get like, that it's. They figure if you're already in 5 minutes, I suppose the advertisers are going to be okay with it.
Right.
So, all right. Well, with that, we'll wrap things up. And do you have any final thoughts or comments that you'd like to make, Steve?
I'm starving to death, so it's sandwich time.
Okay. I already ate. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And it's going to be 2 weeks. We're not going to be here next Monday. So it'll be Monday, May 15th. We will be back. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next time.
Later.